I know you've had your sound described sort of just as pop music, but do you have a way that you tend to describe it?
That's a great question. I tend to describe it as singer-songwriter pop with some dark elements here and there. I love to slide in that it's singer-songwriter because I think it's a really important part of my artistry that I am a writer. But yeah, it definitely leans pop, but it has a very unique sound.
Who were some of the musical influences you had when you were growing up?
Growing up, I had, well, my dad was actually the lead singer of a Christian band, so I had a lot of Christian music influences. So I was surrounded by Britt Nicole, honestly, was a huge one because she was such a pop sounding Christian artist. And Carrie Job and my dad's band, the Newsboys, kind of just sing all of that. But the older I got, I started leaning into, I love Noah Cyrus. I also love Miley Cyrus. Sabrina Carpenter has been a fave, especially once Olivia Rodrigo came out with her stuff. It became a quick favorite. So I have a lot of inspirations.
You have Sky Up out here now. What kind of response have you been receiving from the fans to it?
Oh my gosh, it's been getting an amazing response. I think people are just connecting on such a deep emotional level with it. And I think it's great because I wrote it, kind of in a relational sense, but seeing people, on TikTok and social media and things making videos about their friends or about how God is holding their sky up or, their parents hold their sky up and this, that, and the other. So it's been really cool to see how people have been interpreting it.
What was your songwriting process like for this? Or do you have not like a typical songwriting process you have? One where you like sit or you'll hear a beat or something, it finds you, or do you record lyrics ahead of time and then you find music to go with it? Let's talk about what your typical writing experience like, and then also how this one came about.
Yeah, so I don't really think I have a typical experience. I think it just is in my innate nature that it happens. So whether that's me conceptually coming up with an idea, like a title of a song, or that's me playing a fun chord on piano and I'm like, okay, I want to do something with that. Um, but I can build around whatever I start with. So if I just start with lyrics, I can hear a melody and then I can figure out what chords go into the melody. Or if I hear a melody first, then I can figure out the chords and then I can find lyrics that slot in it. So it really kind of goes all over the place, but I don't really have a specific process I stick to. But with Sky Up, we had the title. We were like, we want to do a song called Sky Up about somebody holding the sky up. And so then we found River of Tears That'll Never Dry Up. Do you ever get tired of holding the sky up? And we built the rest just around that hook.
When it comes to your music, do you have much of a say then in the production aspect of when it's made, or do you have people that you really trust to craft it and help you with that?
That's a good question also. So Dave Pittenger was my producer for the EP that comes out April 26th. I really trust him. I think he's an incredible just person in general to start and also writer and also producer. But one of the things I'm really grateful for is growing up in music and growing up having studio in our home is I'm not really foreign to the apps that create these things like Logic and Pro Tools and Ableton and all those things. So I understand what's happening. I understand the sounds I want, the way I want them to lay, where I want them on the graph. So I'm definitely a part of that process.
We loved you on American Idol. Was there a piece of advice that you received from someone in particular that has really lingered with you as you become your own personal, singer-songwriter yourself?
Yeah, so I actually had a Zoom call with Melinda Doolittle before I went to Hollywood Week. And she was just kind of pouring into me and talking to me about her experience and kind of just prepping me because Hollywood Week is it's probably the hardest part of the show altogether. And she gave me the best of advice I think I've ever heard at the end of that call. And she said, fame is not a change in who you are, it's a change in how the people around you react to you. And that has stuck with me, I think, because every once in a while it can be very overwhelming knowing that people know who you are. And so to understand that you have not changed, just more people and eyes have been on you. I think that has been probably the greatest piece of advice I've received.
You've touched on that you have forthcoming, was it LP coming here shortly, or is it a full album?
It's an EP coming April 26th. So 5 song EP. The first one is Sky Up, which is out now. And I do have a fun surprise next week. So
Stay tuned.
yeah.
My goodness, I'm so excited for that. How do you plan to celebrate the release here then?
I haven't quite figured out the details. I definitely want to get together with the writers and my friends and the people who have just made it possible and just, have a night of celebration because making these projects is such a long process and it takes everybody being locked in and on board and passionate about the music. So I think it's a really high achievement. I think it's also just amazing that we can all collectively agree that there's not a skippable song, which took a lot of
Ooh,
hard work parties. So
that's insane. Not a skippable song. That's big words.
yeah,
How do you shake off a long day from coming into a studio and spending so much time crafting the incredible songs?
yeah, I really enjoy working out and just exercise in general. And so I try to like weightlift in the morning to get me going and like awake and ready for the day. And then I go into Nashville and do my rites and my studio days and my meetings and all the things. And then if I get home in time, I like to do yoga. I think it's nice. I like because I don't have to talk to anybody or entertain anybody. I can just like be present and be in my own body, which is nice. So I've really gotten a knack for that recently.
I know that Katy Perry called you this incredible pop sensation on the rise. What did that mean to you?
I think it would have meant a lot coming from anybody, but for it to specifically be coming from Katy Perry had such gravity to it because I like was obsessed with her as a child. Like when me and my brother lived on the tour bus with my dad, I forced him to film a music video of me to Roar. It exists. So as such a Katy Perry fan, to I think a true artist is going to choose collaboration over competition, and they can recognize talent when it's not their own. And so to hear such a professional and just high artist to recognize me was very, very cool. And also just even all the things all the judges said, but even Lionel Richie complimenting my songwriting is another example. You know, Katy Perry's high on the pop totem pole, complimenting my pop elements, and then Lionel Richie being incredibly high on the songwriter totem pole, complimenting my writing. It was just very surreal, and it never felt real. I still don't think it happened.
Well, you do have proof of it. So when those days get down on you, you have a little bit of a boost to remind you you're in this and you're meant to be here, right, Haven?
This is true. It is hard for me to watch the old videos of me singing just because I was so young. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I had like literally my full outfit that I wore in my audition. Every single piece was from Goodwill. And I had a bruise on my chin because I got elbowed at cheer like a couple days before I flew out. And then like my first outfit in Hollywood Week, I was wearing sweatpants. Like I just don't know what I was doing, but it all worked out.
It sure did. Who are some artists that you would love to collaborate with on a song in the future?
I really want to collaborate with Noah Khan. I love his collaborations and just his music speaks to me on a whole other level. And I love how he just goes for it and he doesn't stick to the normal strategy. I think it's very impressive. So I would love to collaborate with him one day. I would love to collaborate with Miley Cyrus. And honestly, I think it would be really fun to collaborate with Conan Gray. I think he's just a great pop artist. I haven't really seen him do collaborations, but I think we could do a really fun thing because he has 80s elements, which I'm told that I also tend to have every once in a while. So I think that would be fun. Obviously, Taylor Swift, but I got to get a little more successful before that.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music you make?
Gosh, I think obviously thank you. I think that I wouldn't be here if people didn't care. So I'm just very full of gratitude. But I also think that what's so cool that not many people think about and has changed my perspective on my listens and the way I react to people I enjoy is by me relating to the music and maybe commenting that I'm relating or posting about it or following, whatever it is. Um, it makes the artist also feel less alone. In the same way that it makes a listener feel less alone that somebody has written about it, it makes the writer feel less alone that somebody has picked it up and said, "Yeah, me too." So I would just say supporting music not only does it help artists in their career path, but mentally I think it helps us so much because I don't think I've ever met an artist that isn't at the end of the day a little insecure and in need of affirmation. And the best affirmation is people saying, "Yes, I feel that way too."